This is not going to be a cute video. I told you guys I am going on this isolation journey to better myself and to choose myself, among other things, you know, just among other like ways of growing. And so here's a very raw, vulnerable moment of me sharing how I'm feeling right now and kind of what's going on in my head. This may change. The feelings, the thoughts may change tomorrow. I said I was going to start documenting things, and this is me following through with that. So I just got done with a session with my therapist. During this therapy session, I kind of was bombarded with a lot of flashbacks where I was disrespected to my face by people that I love and care for and respect, and that realization kind of sucks. What hurts even more is how I excused their behavior, how I blamed myself for everything. It was always me. I always, not even just like them blaming me, like I blamed myself. I gave excuses for everything, and I always thought I was the problem. And I'm so sad for myself that it was just so easy, because it's always my fault. It always has been my fault. Everything that happens and goes wrong, it's my fault. Why? Because I could have made sure it went right. Why? Because I could have clarified more. I could have said better words. I could have used better communication. I never, ever once thought that maybe they could have been a better person. Maybe they could have been a better friend. Maybe they could have cared about me more. They could have respected me more. God, it's so sad. It's so sad. And it sucks because I've wasted so many years. And to tell you the truth, some of the friendships that I've had, and even some of them I have, well now, I mean, right now I'm in isolation, but I don't know if I would still have them if I learned how to set boundaries. If I left or retreated at the first sign of disrespect. Blatant disrespect, because that's what it's been. It's been very blatant. When I look back at it, very blatant, in your face, not considering your feelings, dismissing you. I can't believe I've allowed this to happen for so long. How many of my friendships were even real? And were just because of where I was at the time mentally and emotionally. How many people were are or were friends with me because I lacked confidence. I lacked boundaries. I lacked emotional intelligence. How many people in my life that I've loved and cared for me because of me not challenging them, because I was easy to be friends with. I don't want to be easy to be friends with. Not in the way that I have been. I was also telling my therapist that I've been relating to a lot of people talking about unmasking and saying what's on their mind instead of finding ways around it, finding ways to make these things digestible. I had a mouth when I was younger. I mean, I was still kind of like that back home in Boston, but when I moved here, I got sick of not having friends, that I started being very careful with what I said and how I said things. In the beginning, when I first moved out here with a lot of girls and I wanted to become friends with girls, a lot of them called me bitchy and said that I was a bitch. And I usually wouldn't like take that negatively, but I'm in LA I want friends. I don't have friends. I don't have people. And it's been like this for like a year and a half, 2 years. I don't really want to keep doing this alone. So, I started listening to what people were saying. I started, being careful with the things that I said. And if I didn't have anything nice to say, then I kept it to myself. Unless you asked me. If you asked me, like, I'd try to find a better way to say it than how I'd really want to say it. I'm exhausted. I don't want to care if it makes people uncomfortable because I'm not doing it to be mean. I'm doing it because I'm tired of not being seen. I'm tired of not being heard. You know how many times I've said no and somebody that I love and cared for dismissed it, did not take it into consideration, did not care because they cared about their feelings more than they cared about how what they're doing makes me feel. And that they can say it playfully and I can just be like, oh, do you know how many times I have been told something, so I act accordingly, and then was later told that they meant something else. So then I acted in a way that matched what they said, but not what they meant, so I looked like the bad guy. How many times people did not consider the position that they have put me in, expressed their feelings, instead of asking me how I felt about the position that they put me in and how I made whatever decision that I made. People don't realize the positions that they put me in and that I allow myself to be in because I could probably take myself out of them and say, fuck you, I don't want any part of it. But because of where I was mentally and I lacked the ability to stand 10 toes down on what I really, really wanted versus how I wanted to make them feel. But in all of that mess, did I matter to you? Did my feelings matter to you? But no, I've always, without question, have always considered everybody else's feelings. But how freaking hard is it for people to consider mine? Why is this not a natural ability to others? Answer me that. Because I am highly confused. Did people lose their humanness, their humanity, where nobody considers anybody else's feelings? I am just utterly confused about how humans move, why I was so convinced for years that the way I move is the problem, because people don't move the way that I do. People don't say what they mean and mean what they say. Having this conversation with my therapist and talking about how I have had such a hard time in life navigating around humans. I don't understand the no means yes concept. For instance, when a guy asks the girl, do you want any food? And the girl's like, oh no, I'm not hungry. The guy goes and gets a sandwich for himself because he's hungry, goes into the car, and the girl is like, oh, you didn't get anything for me? And the guy's like, no, you said you weren't hungry. She's like, well, yeah, but you could have got me something. No, I couldn't have because I believed you. We got to stop with the no means yes. We got to stop with that because it's confusing. I do not want to have to figure you out in that kind of way. I don't want to have to dissect everything that you say and be like, oh, okay, in these certain situations, when she says no, it means yes. But in these certain situations, this no actually means no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You tell me what you feel and you tell me right now. I don't want to have to do extra work than I'm already doing. Do you know what goes on in my head? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Because I do that all the time with everybody. Because I read body language, I listen to the tone, I listen to the choice of words, because the choice of words are very choosing. And they tell me everything I need to know. That's why I know so much about people without them even telling me. And I can feel your energy. Oh, I can feel it. And it doesn't feel digestible. It's really kind of overpowering for me. I'm tired of navigating the way I've been navigating through life. I'm not a no means yes girl. I'm a no means no woman. Please believe me when I say no. Please believe me when I say don't. Please believe me when I tell you how I feel. And if you don't understand how I feel, ask questions. I am the most annoying person when it comes to asking questions because I want to understand, because I don't want to misunderstand, because misunderstanding is my problem. It's not yours. So if I sit there and I allow myself to misunderstand without even asking questions, then that's on me. That's on me. But if I do ask questions and you continue to tell me the same stuff, that's on you. You don't clarify when I ask you, that's on you. And I'm tired of blaming myself for your problems, for your lack of communication. Gosh, the way I've been navigating through life is exhausting. How have I survived this long? I don't even know. I don't even know. Imagine being a little girl feeling this way and not understanding why people are like so confused about how they feel and saying things that they don't actually mean or don't actually describe how they feel. How have I not gone crazy yet? That's like the big question. How am I semi-sane? How am I not locked away in a padded room right now? Because of how insane I'm surprised I'm not, because of the way I've had to navigate life, because of all the extra steps I've had to take to make sure I'm not alone in this world. A lot of the good things that I have said, I do feel that. But there are a lot of negative things that I haven't said yet because it has been made clear that a lot of people can't handle what I have to say. I would be reading the crap out of people. And people aren't ready for that. People don't want that. If this is because I'm projecting, as far as like, you know, me believing that they can't handle it, or that they didn't want to hear it, or they weren't ready to hear it, you know, stuff like that, I am only projecting because I have seen the way you have handled somebody else saying something similar, somebody else doing something, or, you know, making certain accusations, or reading you for filth. There is evidence to back up why I am choosing not to say anything, or why I'm choosing to wait for a better, more reasonable, digestible opportunity where you can receive it and not attack me. Because I also have to think about me in the process. And sometimes it's in a very selfish way where I think about me as in like, I don't want to lose you, so I'd rather keep certain things to myself, because also it's my opinion. Especially because I've been challenged in that way so many times throughout the years, where my moral compass seems to be like very, very high standard, or, you know, very high in general. And so people will just constantly remind me like, Bella, people don't act that way. People aren't like that. You have a really good heart. You have to understand that people aren't you. Well, you know what? I don't want to understand that. I'm okay with understanding it to the point where I don't get disappointed or I'm not hurt by it, but I don't want to understand it to the point where I accept it in my life. I don't want to be around people who think that the things that I don't think are okay, they think are okay. The behaviors that show me you don't have good character, but, you know, because you're my friend, I keep you around. It is so true that who you choose to spend your time with, people will see you as those people. Birds of a feather flock together, whatever, that kind of thing. It is so true. This isolation is showing me a lot. There probably will be many more of these, but my battery is dying and I don't want to have to turn this on again. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening. This is probably a lot. I'm so sorry, but also I'm not, because this is vulnerable and real, and that's what I wanted to give you guys. So it's not always sunshine and rainbows over here. Sometimes we cry and sometimes we're sad. But I love you guys, and until next time, stay beautiful and stay kind.